Hello, writers. Welcome to this week's Writer's Tool Shed. Our example story for week 3 goes like this. My family is a little strange. At dinner yesterday, Thomas issued us a formal decree saying he will no longer wear socks. Ever. He is 4 years old and hates socks. Says they muffle the singing of his toes. Yep, he said singing. Another example is the pungent smell of rubber tires that rises up from the bathroom every other Saturday night. My dad likes to give his car tires regular baths in our bathtub. He says it helps them absorb all the love and care we have as a family, and that loving tires are strong tires. I'm telling you, it's cracked. If I stay here any longer, I'm going to catch the crazy myself. What? Why are my pants so baggy? Well, I have to wear loose pants so the lizards can have enough room. You don't think they want to be squeezed into some sleek leather pants or tight jeans, do you? Come on. So our first word is decree, which is a noun, means an official order or decision. And you can see the judge pounding the gavel to issue a decree, and the pounding helps emphasize how formal this is. But then what's the difference between a decree versus a law? Sometimes there is no difference, and a decree is a law. And you say, like, oh, the king made a decree, which means the king passed a new law in the land. But sometimes a decree is for a more specific situation, whereas a law would be for everyone in the entire country. But a decree could be like in a particular court case. The judge says, I decree you to blank. Muffle is a verb to wrap or cover something in a way that keeps it quiet. So you can see this guy is putting insulation around the room to muffle the sound, to try to make the room soundproof so no sound escapes. If you're writing with it, muffle versus mute, you could muffle a sound, which means you're making it quieter and making it more fuzzy, less able to distinguish what the sound is or what the words might be. But if you mute something, then you're silencing it completely. So muffle is less quiet than mute. Pungent is an adjective, something with a strong smell or a taste. I don't know if any of you have ever smelled or tasted durian fruit, but the durian smell is so pungent that it was once mistaken for a gas leak in a store. And so it caused everybody to panic, and they all ran out of the store thinking it might explode. But don't worry, it was only a durian. If you're writing with it, pungent versus smelly. Pungent describes a smell or a taste. Smelly describes an object. So you have to be a little bit careful in the usage. You can't say the pungent durian. You have to say the pungent smell of durian. So, like you would say, this pungent smell of dirty socks. But if you're using smelly, you could just say the smelly socks. The socks are themselves smelly. Pungent is also different from smelly because smelly is almost always bad. I can't think of a good way of using smelly, but pungent can be a good kind of smell or taste, like the pungent smell of lavender wafted up from the bed or something like that. Absorb, which is a verb to soak up or take in. You can see the water being absorbed by these different layers in absorbent cloth. When you're writing with it, absorb versus soak up. So, like, they do mean the same thing. If you're absorbing, you are soaking something up, but soak is more literal. You are almost always talking about literal liquid there, but then when you're absorbing something, it's a lot more often used in a figurative sense, like you're absorbing information or absorbing feelings, absorbing vibes, something that's not tangible. Baggy is an adjective. It means hanging loosely, puffed out in a bag-like way. You can see these baggy pants. When you're writing with it, baggy versus big, you could also talk about big pants. Hey, the pants were really big on him. But baggy is a little bit more specific because they're talking about that shape, that puffed out in a bag-like way. If your pants are too big, maybe it's because they're too long, or maybe it's because they're too wide. But they don't have that baggy look unless they're puffed out. So that's all for this week. Move on to your sentence template and try to imitate some sentences.